Hello once again on day 49. 49. We've spent some time lately on the one thing, and most recently the last days on the keys that support the one thing. Remember uh, what we said earlier is obviously the one thing has to support our outcome goal, and the keys has to support the one thing. So today is going to be basically a review of the keys. And obviously, the keys and the purpose of the keys is to support the one thing that you've chosen from the model of the non urgent important that you've taken into the important. You yourself have made it important, um, made it urgent. So, again, the first thing you need to decide is what is the one thing? What is the one thing that if I choose it, do it, accomplish it, it will make some of the other things in my challenge not necessarily significantly easier. Right? So once we've chosen the one thing, once again, we want to choose it from an area. We don't want to choose it from something that's not important or not urgent, right? We don't want to spend our time on that. We don't want to take something in a reactionary, right? We want to get out of the reactionary mode of being the urgent and important, something that's dictated by some other person or some other situation. And we want to take something that's not urgent but important. And we want to create that and take that over into the urgent. We ourselves want to make that on our choice to make that urgent. And again, once we've done that, we want to ask ourselves the question: will that one thing push me towards my challenge outcome? Right? We have the little illustration is shown here, and the one thing once you take it out of that segment, and we want to ensure that it actually is a piece of our challenge and actually accomplishes sometimes and correlates with accomplishing our outcome challenge. The next question is how will I accomplish that one thing? Now, that is where it's important to consider the keys, right? And we talked about the four keys that support the one thing, and we use the parable of maybe table legs, right? If we knock one leg out, a portion will fall, but it's not going to completely fall. We have no certainty that the one thing is going to be accomplished unless we knock off all four areas. Um, and we call these four areas the keys. Now we talked a little bit about maybe expanding, right? There could be a lot of process, there could be a lot of steps to accomplish the one thing, but we want to limit the keys to four mostly equal actions that we can take in sequence to accomplish the one thing. Once we and once again we have the freedom to compose or create uh, uh, basically sub action items under each key. For example, if to accomplish this one key item, there may be several things you have to do, and we can obviously feel free to add those items to each key, but we don't want to expand the amount of keys. We want four significantly equal keys or legs, if you will, that will guarantee that once those four things are done, the table will fall, so to speak. Okay, and then we have the questions, right? Once again, what what are what are we going to choose, right? What is going to be the key? The follow up question is why is that the key? First part of the why is it first, or why is it second? Why is this the third key and not the first, right? We want to answer those questions, but we also want to answer the questions is why is that required? Why must this be done to accomplish the one thing? The next question is when. Obviously, when we set goals, and our challenges are all time sensitive, right? And certainly this is on every week, right? It's every week, so we can't have a one thing accomplished into any. We don't have a when on the action items below that or the keys, right? So on each key, when we go through and we ask ourselves, why is, what is it required? What are we going to do that's required first? Why is it first? And why is it important that we get it done? And when will that action item be done? And the final question we need to ask is how. How are we going to accomplish each one of these keys, right? And this is where I mentioned earlier that we have the freedom to put action items below each key. We don't necessarily need to chart them, but we want to have the freedom to put steps in how we're going to actually accomplish each one of the keys. So, quick review. Uh, we have a challenge goal. We have the one thing. We've gone through some process in choosing the one thing from the area that we create as important and to put pressure on ourselves to get this done. We've mapped out how we're going to do this through the keys, and we've established that these are the required, and this is the required order, and this is first, second, third key. We've also established that not only what we're going to do, but why we're going to do it. We've applied a timetable of when we're going to do it, and we've also applied the how we're going to actually accomplish that. And in the end, we need to be assured that once these are done, once the 4 keys are done, that the one thing is actually accomplished. Once again, our assignment is going to teach this. If you can't teach it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, you can't live it. Along with the other items listed at the bottom of the page, we are going to see you again tomorrow on day 49.